Pleasure, sir.
Respected Chancellor Pansari Sahab, respected Vice Chancellor Sanjay Pratap Singh Ji, respected educationists, most importantly, my dear fellow students. I say this because even after 30 years of a long global career, as what Purnima had very beautifully elucidated, I still find myself learning on a daily basis. I always consider myself a student of this very mystic, complex, intriguing, a very interesting subject called life. Hence, for me, I can only address you as my fellow students. Most of you will be overwhelmed by the situation around you. Well, it's no different for me or anybody for that matter. It's a unique leveler. Young or old, experienced, novice, rich or poor, smart or otherwise, all of us are confronted with the fear of uncertainty. The only thing constant, they say, is change. The only thing certain in a pandemic is uncertainty. But that's the beauty of life. In the unknown lies the thrill. In the challenge lies the skill. As they say, it's time to overcome your fear. क्योंकि डर के आगे जीत है. And why should you be fearful at all in the uncertainty? Because let me tell you that each and every one of you are placed in the most privileged hands of the Royal Global University. A faculty which I have had the deep fortune of interacting at several levels, and I found myself wanting to go back to college life and study in this beautiful institution. I have no doubt in my mind when I call it the pride of the Northeast. The situation around us, as I said, is nothing short of catastrophic. With history being created across the geography of Mother Earth, and a minor virus has created a major catastrophe, making each and every one of us rewind, rethink, re-strategize, reboot, and of course, rebuild for a new future. The world is locking you down. It's locking you down for a reason, to remove all the distractions and allow you to focus. Focus, retract, withdraw, introspect, and explore what's best within you. It's time to mend and amend yourself, to correct and resurrect yourself, uncover and discover yourself, because you are the most precious when it comes to the entire being. And in the times to come, when all this is over and the world revives, you need to survive. And why just survive? You need to thrive and overcome all the challenges, to find solutions, and more importantly, to seek and understand the opportunities that lie in front of you. And that is what this great institution will provide you. A sense of positivity, pragmatism, and progress to be able to seize these opportunities once the world opens up again, and then be able to lead from the front. Most of us who well past their 40s now, when we were growing up in our generation, we felt bereft of opportunities. We felt forced into situations. We felt that life just happened to us. But you, on the other hand, my dear fellow students, have this unique opportunity to seize this moment to ensure that life happens just the way you want it to. I will continue in my conversation with you on various topics of what you can expect and how you can extract the best out of life over these next couple of hours when I'm with you. But be rest assured, the best thing and the most critical thing to say is that you are in the best of hands. And it's best that you make the best of those hands. With that, I'd like to introduce our very first speaker, who's a very distinguished gentleman and, of course, a very knowledgeable personality in the field of education and a very dear friend. I have befriended over these last few months with great pride, great dignity, and great grace. I cherish that. Dr. S.P. Singh, the Vice Chancellor of the Assam Royal Global University in Guwahati. Professor S.P. Singh is a well-known academician, administrator, having a dynamic and enterprising personality of more than 29 years of experience in teaching, research, academic administration in institutions across this wide nation. He holds a PhD in management, an MSc in geology, MBA and LLB, and all from the University of Lucknow, which used to be the bastion, the seat of learning of North India at several points of time. It qualified the CSIR, the UGC NET, and the GRF in earth sciences, and also the UGC NET in management. And he's also published research papers and case studies and articles in the field of environmental science, marketing, academic, and administration. Just look at the wide variety of the scope of his knowledge. And he was able to anticipate the requirement of today through that variety, because that's exactly what our new education policy is telling you, is to be multifaceted and multidisciplinary. Professor Singh has the experience of working with many institutions of repute, lecturer at the Department of Geology in Lucknow, lecturer cum community organizer in the TOC, Ministry of HRD, Government of India, Director and Vice Chancellor at the Sherwood Group of Institutions in Lucknow, the Founder Director of Royal Global Institutions in Guwahati, Senior Vice President Academics of the Amity Education Group, having 7 universities and several institutions in India and abroad. Professor Singh is an excellent orator, which you will hear in a few moments from now, and he's got great skills, both, might I add, in Hindi and English, remarkable leadership quality. He takes lectures in diverse fields like engineering, geology, marketing, management, behavioral sciences, business, and law. He's a recognized person in the field of communication. He's a true visionary leader, believes in leading by example with an insatiable thirst for knowledge. It's a privilege to bring to you Professor S.P. Singh, truly a force to reckon with. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chetan Sharma. I think you have given a very elaborated introduction of mine. I'm really humbled. Thank you so very much. And as you have said, first of all, am I audible? This is the new normal. So I'm audible. So good morning to everyone present here, especially all my senior people present here, Honorable Chancellor, Shri A.K. Pansari ji, Honorable Pro-Chancellor, Shri A.K. Modi, Professor Alak Bora Gohai, Registrar Madam Angera Mimani, other eminent professors, Professor Barua I have seen, Professor Krishna Barua, all other eminent teachers, and today's most important participants, my dear students. The first batch, the first day of your journey started from today. You, during the pandemic time, is the first batch to join in. The master students will join after 1 month from now, but you all have joined today, though on a virtual platform. In this condition, I would say that you may be thinking you are going to study for the whole year like this, for a few months like this, or what is going to be your fate. I know a lot of inquisitiveness, a lot of anxiety may be there in your mind. But on behalf of Royal Global University and on behalf of all the teachers and management, I assure you, it is going to be digital, or it is going to be phygital, means physical and digital, or in due course of time, it is going to be purely physical. We ensure you the quality delivery of different kind of courses which you have joined in. And also we ensure you that our teachers will not keep anything away from you, even if you are attached to the digital platform. So it's a tough time. We all know very well, this is a pandemic time. Corona is taken over the whole world. Because of this particular problem, We all are confined to our rooms. We have not been able to come to the university. This is the first time we are organizing this orientation program on a digital platform. I know this is not normal. This is quite abnormal in the normal circumstances. But here we have an opportunity on the digital platform to at least interact. I always believe positive thinking. If I'm not been able to achieve X, I have Y in front of me. If I'm not been able to interact with you physically, I'm having this digital platform at least to interact with you. Your year, your career is still intact, though not that way, which normally we used to happen in the physical form. But at least you are not losing year. Many of the people attending today's webinar at one point of time during when the problems were there in the state of Assam and other part of the country, they have lost years. They have lost 1, 2, 3 years in their education, and that was a big jolt for their career. But you are fortunate that we are living in a digital world and we have this kind of digital platforms to interact. We have some hygiene factors for digital platform. You all are following that. I'm so thankful to all of you that you are just having muted mode. Also, you are not streaming your video. That help us to communicate with you properly. So this is the first thing you learn in the university in the digital platform, that when you need to speak, when you need to mute, and when you need to stream your video and speak. So this is one part. I really, from my heart, as a Vice Chancellor of this university, I congratulate you, welcome you, and congratulate your parents also on the decision you have taken to join Royal Global University. Why I'm saying this? It's not that I'm saying this just without thinking deep into this thing. You have taken admission because, in my opinion, you have taken admission in a private university. In my opinion, we are one of the most vibrant university of Northeast India. We are also having very strict discipline. We are conducting all the classes. The basic premises on which we run is there should be no class unattended by the teachers on everyday basis. If you have taken admission in Royal Global University, it means you are very, very sincere and you are very, very eager to learn. And therefore, I congratulate all my around 850, 900 students who have joined undergraduate program this year. I congratulate you for confiding in a private sector institution where you are going to learn more than probably where the classes are regular and the teachers are very vibrant. Number 2 point is that most of you are willing to do some additional courses. What I mean by additional course, suppose you have taken admission into engineering or maybe management or maybe behavioral or maybe psychology or maybe humanities, but you are also eager to learn something in addition to the core course. Means we have a basket of courses. We have choice-based credit system where every student is free to do something in addition to what they are doing. They can do course in English, they can do course in music, they can do course in mass communication, and vice versa. So one student of one can do courses in other. Also, we have two very important things, that is behavioral science and communicative English. What we believe that the best of the engineers, the best of the scientists in the country, in the world, they are not good and they will not perform better unless until their attitude and their behavior is sound. Ethics and values are intact. So we want ethical, value-based, right attitude engineers, managers, scientists to lead the country and lead the world. So it is a place also to create right kind of leadership. So you have confided on us and have decided to join us because you want to be a leader in your life. You are also about maybe something about Royal Net. We have a unique platform, digital platform. This has not been created during pandemic time. This has been created 3 years back when we launched Royal Global University. It's called Royal Net. In Royal Net also, there's a scope that every day you know that what you are going to be taught in the classroom. Teachers will upload lesson plans. Teacher will also share the study material. You come prepared by reading study material and you have more interactive classes. It is not going to be a monologue. It is going to be a dialogue in the class. Even if it is in the digital platform, you are free to interact and chat. So this is a unique opportunity which only private universities or maybe private colleges or maybe some government institutions are providing as of now. So you are very keen to interact in the class, and that is a good news for all of us. Therefore, you have joined us. Third, I think fourth thing is that I'm very sure you are aware of the quality of the faculty members we have in Royal Global University. We have almost 70% faculty members, they are PhDs. and we have almost 150 research scholars. We have all the infrastructure required for research, for teaching in the classroom. I mean, all classrooms are air conditioned and everything is known to you. But most important is the academic resource, that is the faculty members. And I can ensure you, if you know the faculty members, you must be also knowing. I really applaud all the time about my faculty members that they are not only knowledgeable, they are also very good human beings. They're interacting in your class, they take care of you, they are your mentor, they are your guide by the side, and they always try to groom you on day-to-day basis. And that is possible in Royal Global University, and you are keen to grow, therefore you have joined us. This is the fourth point I wanted to say, and thank you for joining us, because I'm very proud and very sure about it that once you have joined this institution, you are going to get success. Success may be of many kinds. Maybe that may be monetary success, that may be emotional success, that may be psychological success, that may be what you want to achieve in life. But whatever you want to achieve in life, we are here to inspire you, to ignite you, to learn more and understand the way of life which is going to make you successful. But to become successful, I want your commitment also. I mean, on the day of orientation, if I don't take your commitment, I think that will be wrong. And your commitment should be in form of number one. In the number one and the most important, that you all should be positive. It's a pandemic time, tough time. But positive people are going to take this word forward. The positive people are going to survive more than the people who are negative. So I always am emphasizing upon the positivity. So you have to be positive. Number two, you have to be very enthusiastic. You should be learning on day-to-day basis, minute-to-minute basis, and your should be enthusiasm should be so high so that you should be noting down what I'm talking. You should be noting down after my deliberation what my chancellor is going to speak. You should be noting down what Professor Sahaj Buddhi is going to speak today. If you are not enthusiastic and not keen and you are not positive, I think your growth will not be as fast as we expect from you. Second is that you have to have faith in yourself first, and secondly, the faith in the institution. Once you have joined us, you are my student. No, you are my family. So if you are my family, you are part and parcel. You are one of the extended family of Royal Global University. You are going to own it from today onwards. Commit that you're going to own it. Anything you are going to this institution will make my brand better or will make my brand go down, or I will be either proud of you or I will be having shame on your deeds. Therefore, my request to all of you, think you are a family and you have to do something which is going to make my university, your university, proud on to day-to-day basis. Third is about you should be a quick learner, you should have right attitude, you should follow discipline of attending classes. I tell you about myself. I say that I was a good student, but not the toppers in my class. But I tell you today, my attendance in my class used to be either 99% or 100%. I probably have not missed even a single class. And what I learned in the class, people at times say that what we learn in the class is not used in the practical world. It's absolutely wrong, in my opinion. The perception has been created wrong by some of the corporates and industries. Whatever we learn in the class, that has definitely been used in the corporate world and the industrial world, and that also helps you to later on unlearn and relearn, because once you want to relearn something, your basics are very, very handy. So always remember that you have to clarify your basics from the day one. And I just want to conclude by two more things. My time, I know I have stick to the time. Two more things is about hard work. Hard work, there's no substitute of hard work, in my opinion, in life. And also the energy, the positive energy with right blend of hard work and minimum working of 10 to 12 hours per day for another 3, 4, 5 years will make your life beautiful. I assure you for that. But this 10 to 12 hours per day devotion, you may be devoting 7, 8 hours for your studies, or maybe 9, 10 hours for your studies, but 2, 3 hours every day you should devote for your health, for your meditation, for concentration, to think and strategize your life. And every day you should be doing 12-hour positive things to make your life and yourself better. So that is very, very important part. And what you can do for that, you can join any sports, 2 to 3 hours per day sports. You can join dramatics, you can join business club, you can join some social work, you can join music and dance, you can join any other activity, preparing for competitive examination from the day one. So we have so much positive. And I tell you today, with my experience of 30 years into academics, all my students who are successful, they all have devoted 12 hours to 14 hours per day positive, not 12 to 14 hours of study. I never promote that. 10 to 12 hours study every day, or maybe 2 to 3 hours positive activity, which make your mind cool, calm, and comfortable to grab and understand and learn whatever is coming to you on day-to-day basis. So this is what I wanted to deliberate today. And I wish you all a great future in Royal Global University. I wish you all a great time. I wish you all a great fun in Royal Global University. And I wish you all a great success in Royal Global University. Stay safe, stay healthy, have healthy lifestyle. That is very important during the pandemic time. If parents are also attending today's webinar along with the children, my thanks to all of you, all parents who have joined us, and my kudos to you that your child have confided in us and taken admission in Royal Global University. RoyalNet is also having a facility where the parents can also log in and find the progress of the student on the weekly and monthly basis. So this is what I wanted to say. All Chetan, I will conclude by just 2 couplets, as I always do, because in my personal belief, there are few lines which make your life beautiful every day. And probably these lines make my students' life beautiful for the whole journey they are going to have in Royal Global University. I will start with this. मंजिलें उन्हीं को मंजिलें मिले ना मिले, मंजिलें मिले ना मिले, ये तो मुकद्दर की बात है. मंजिलें मिले ना मिले, ये तो मुकद्दर की बात है. हम कोशिश भी ना करें, ये गलत बात है. तो हमें कोशिश करनी है. We have to strive, we have to thrive, we have to do our best to achieve success. And in addition to that, मंजिलों से ही है, मंजिलें उन्हीं को मिलती हैं जिनके सपनों में जान होती है. Manzile, so dream every day, daydream as APJ Abdul Kalam has said, or night dream. मंजिलें उन्हीं को मिलती हैं जिनकी सपनों में जान होती है. हौसलों पंखों से कुछ नहीं होता, हौसलों से उड़ान होती है. So have courage that you can do it. I am sure all of you are brightest of all, and you have joined us. So I believe you will become more brighter day to day. But you have to have hosla in you. My best wishes to all of you, and thank you so much for giving me chance. Thank you, Chetan. Over to you. Unmute yourself, Chetan, please. Unmute yourself.
I'm unmuted. Truly inspiring, Professor. There seems to be a bit of an echo back. I hope it's all very well now. Truly inspiring, Professor S. Being really motivating and as well as absolute pleasure to listen to you. And every single diaspora, and this one is no different. Particularly the way you ended off with those couplets, when you enunciated progress. Progress will have to come first from passion. Your passion will then have to become your purpose. And your purpose will then lead to profit and will also lead to progress. And thank you for redefining the word success, Professor S.P. Singh, in its most holistic manner. Exactly what the new education policy talks about is that success is not only financial success. Success is not only political success. Success is not only economic success. Success happens in a very holistic manner. It also happens through wealth. It happens through wisdom. So thank you for highlighting that as well for us today. Our next speaker, is such a privilege to introduce to you your Chancellor, our Chancellor, Dr. Ashok Kumar Pansari, Chancellor of the Assam Royal Global University, truly an edupreneur, an educationist at heart, mind, and soul. Qualified as a PhD in an FCOM and LLB, as well as, of course, an FCA. Dr. A.K. Pansari has had a huge number of awards, awarded and featured amongst the top leaders of India who can revive Indian education. Imagine the sanctity of that. In Education World's India's magazine, Human Development in June 2020 edition. Universal Peace Federation Indian Chapter, United Nations International Day of Peace, Non-Violence, the 26th of September 2019, at the RDU, where Dr. Pansari referred upon the Ambassador of Peace. Awarded as the Future 50 Leader Shaping Success in 2019, Field of Education at Amity School Leadership Summit in Jaipur in August 2018. Awarded the late Dharamchand Jain Memorial Outstanding Award for the contribution in education by the Northeastern Regional Marwari Sammelan in its 50th Regional Conference in the year 2007. Awarded the Sri Moi Okshomi Bhota 2017, the Guwahati Bihushan Leni awarded by the Honorable Chief Minister of Assam for his contribution in the education sector towards the overall development of the people of Assam as a state, of course, people. ERDF Excellence Award in 2015, an initiative by the EDU Foundation University of Science and Technology in Meghalaya, awarded by the then Honorable Chief Minister of Assam, Sri Tarun Gogoi. Well, besides these relentless efforts by Dr. Pansari to raise the bar of quality education in this country, for which we're eternally grateful, it's well represented by the Royal Global University and the Royal Global School, which has got numerous awards across several years. Dr. Pansari's endeavor to curb the migration of students of Northeast region to other parts of the country has brought a welcome change in the future outlook of the Northeast region. His efforts have led to fulfilling the dreams of thousands and thousands of students of this region who earlier had to compromise on quality education due to the dearth of good institutions in this part of our great country. Not only students, but those institutions have also created employment opportunities for many people of the Northeast. So truly it's been a blessing to this part of the country and the country as a whole. He's also done a great job in imbibing the values and the philosophy among the Hindi-speaking people by practicing the philosophy of assimilation with the local Assamese people by adopting their language and their culture, truly assimilating the Indian spirit in his lifestyle. Both Royal Global School and University are offering scholarships to deserving, needy students. And the academic institutions are now kept at high esteem of the society for their academic standard and discipline, their hygiene, their cleanliness, their sports, their culture. Dr. Ashok Kumar Pansari is promoting Hindi to Northeast through the Hindi daily Dainik Purvoday. He's written on current social issues and many motivational articles that inspire young minds. His articles have been combined into a book which is called Bato Bato Mein, published in September 2020. I encourage each and every one of you to read it not just once, but twice, and learn from it. His recent focus includes Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, Go Green, Say No to Single-Use Plastic through the students of RGU and RGS, launching projects under the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. It's a pleasure, it's a privilege, and a proud moment to bring to you Dr. Pansari. Over to you, sir.
Hello.
Vijay? Vijay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Where is the...
Sir, which sir is Prabhu there, sir? Shashanka is coordinated with Prabhu.
So what happened? He was there right now. He's not available.
Yes, sir.
Shashank?
Sir, no, Prabhu is there, sir. Shashanka is running there. So give me some time, sir.
Chetan, I think in between I've seen Professor Sahas Buddhi joined in. So we can welcome him.
And while we go on to Dr. Patsari, let me introduce to you one of our very, very special guests for today. It's such a pleasure and a very warm welcome to Professor Anil Chester, Chairman of the All India Council for Technical Education, the AICTE. What a pleasure to have you. Good morning. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Good morning, Chetan and Professor Singh.
Good morning, sir. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Such a pleasure. We're all looking forward to hearing from you, your words of wisdom, which always inspire us and motivate us and give us a sense of purpose, a sense of pride, a sense of passion, and a sense of what the future lies for each and every one of us. So thank you for joining us. So without much ado, it would be a pleasure if I could have Dr. Anil Chester, and then perhaps, because there's a connection problem with Dr. Pansari's studio, we'll go then to him. So let me first call upon Dr. Anil Chester ji. He's joined the All India Council for Technical Education as Chairman in 2015. Professor Chester is a professor of mechanical engineering at the Indian Institute of Technology at Roanwari Center of Guwahati. He joined the AICTE as the chairman the 17th of July. Professor Anil Chester graduated from the BBB College of Engineering and Technology in Hooghly, affiliated with the University at Dharwad. He was the first rank and a gold medalist in the year 1980. Subsequently, he obtained the Master's and Doctoral with the UGC Fellowship degrees from the IISc Bangalore 1982 and 89, respectively. Professor Chester several important academic, research, and administrative positions at the Indian Institute of Science in Bangalore, the Tata Consultancy Engineers, the Northeastern Regional Institute of Science and Technology, the NERIST, Itanagar, Arunachal Pradesh, and of course, IIT at Guwahati. He also served as Director, College of Engineering, Pune, COEP since 2006 on deputation from IIT, Guwahati, prior to joining as the AICTE Chairman. As an academician and a researcher for the NERIST and the IIT Guwahati, as an administrator, the capacity of Director of the COEP, who's taken up several initiatives for academic, curricular, co-curricular activities, as well as entrepreneurship, research, and very importantly, good governance. He's the chairman of the Basic Science Research, the BSR, the Empowered Committee of UGC, and the Swayam Board. He's in the fellow of the ISTE, the IET, the Institution of Engineers, and the INAI. He's been bestowed several awards, including that of the Maha Entrepreneur Award in 2011, given by the Praj Industries, the Jeevan Gaurav Puraskar, Lifetime Achievement Award, MIT World University, Pune in 2019, and significantly, the Mahatma Gandhi Leadership Award from the Indian Achievers Forum, as well as the CSR Times in 2019. Professor Chester is one of perhaps the most knowledgeable people that this country has to offer in the field of academics and learning, both at the junior level as well as the higher level. He's been a pride of this country ever since he took over the mantles, and he's done a yeoman service, really, to our education system. So before I hand it over to you, sir, for you to tell us about the new education policy, let me just introduce the policy for our young students. For the first time, India will have a Ministry of Education to replace the Ministry of Human Resource Development. Ironically, the policy itself aims not just at education, but the entire gamut of human resource development, expanding the lens beyond structured curriculum and predictable careers to a holistic 360-degree character-building process, reviving India's famed Gurukul approach with the aim of creating a self-reliant India. By addressing the critical needs of employment and employability, offering a creative mix of flexibility and focus throughout the learning life, empowering the teacher, enhancing transparency and accountability through leaner governance. The new education policy truly as the makings of a clear 2020 vision. If implemented in true letter and spirit, it's highly relevant, responsive, and responsible. Over to you, good sir, for telling us more about this policy. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. Over to you, Professor Chester.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Chetan Sharma, Professor S.P. Singh, and all others I'm seeing. I have, undergone cataract, and therefore I've been putting eye drops, so I'm wearing dark glasses. So please excuse me for that. And Chetan, as usual, has pitched entire gamut of new education policy in just a few sentences. The Amrut, the gist of that has been already brought out. So there is very little that I can add to that, except clarifying some of the things which are there in the minds of people. As rightly pointed out by Chetan, this is transformative, game-changing policy. There are multiple reasons for that. There is a continuity with the old policies, whether right from Radhakrishnan report, just after independence of 1948 to 1968 policy, 1986 and 1992 revised policy. We are having in 2020, after 34 years, a policy which was absolutely the what you say is the people's policy, because all the stakeholders were consulted for evolving this particular policy. And therefore, there is absolutely no opposition. Normally, in any case, when the government announces something, there are hue and cry about certain things. But this is empowering every section of the society, because every family is in some way or other associated with education. Either there is a student who is already studying, or someone's child is studying, grandchild is studying, and therefore everyone gets connected with the education system in some way or the other. There cannot be a gap of more than about 5 years in any family when no one is associated with the education. And that's why this is very significant and important. Now, what is transformative vis-a-vis the former policies? Those elements I would like to highlight rather than which is continuity. Continuity is, of course, autonomy of the institutions, how we should have multidisciplinary institutions. This is all stated right from beginning. But here there is an emphasis on multidisciplinarity. Because in the last 3-4 decades, several universities have come up which are all specialized universities, whether it is medical universities, law universities, technical universities, and therefore the very meaning of university, Vishwavidyalaya, where you actually come and have a lot of interaction with different domains and become a holistic person when you go out. I think if it is a specialized university, you will miss on many things. For example, a student of engineering, if he is interested in music, there will be no scope for him if it is a specialized technical university. A student of medicine, if he is interested in painting, he will not have a chance to do some painting. And therefore, multidisciplinary universities globally, which are the best universities of the world. Go back to our own ancient education system, whether it is Gurukula or subsequently Nalandas and Takshilas of the world. They had all variety of programs under one umbrella and an excellent student-teacher ratio. In Nalanda is said to be having 1:5 faculty-student ratio, 10,000 students and 2,000 faculty members. I think that is what the university is supposed to be. It is a crucible where a lot of thoughts come in, a lot of churning action takes place, and your thoughts will get more and more clarified in terms of discussions with your fellow friends, a lot of debates and discussions. I think that is what university is all about. And therefore, this policy is emphasizing the need for multidisciplinarity and also allowing students to take courses from other domains than his main or her main domain of study. Second part, which this policy has also empowered, is multiple exit and entry. We have found in earlier, the universities had certain kind of regulations wherein if the program is of 3 years duration, you are necessarily to complete it in 5 years. If it is a program of 4 years, maybe in 6 years with some relaxation of a 7th year. But beyond that, if you go beyond, then you are out of the system. So if you want to again do that program, you have to come and start from the basics, that is first year onwards. I think this policy takes off that. You can exit at the end of first year with a certificate, second year with a diploma, third year with a post diploma or some specialized diploma, and after 4 years degree. And all degree programs are now going to be 4-year programs, including arts, commerce, science, like engineering. And that is where a lot of opportunity for students to learn many other things than their normal things. Last part, which also the policy talks about, is earlier sports, music, dance, drama, etc., all cultural activities, literary activities were treated as extracurricular activities. Gradually, the terminology started changing and we started calling them as co-curricular activities. And now this policy talks it as a curricular activity. So therefore, a student will truly have a sense of the society, sense of the requirements of the not only nation, but the entire globe in terms of whether it is environment, ecology, and what all we are facing today in the modern world, how he will get to know about it and then try to solve those problems. And then make every person who is going out a good citizen, value-based citizens, and then solve the problems in the society rather than create problems in the society. I think this is how this policy is transformative. Then it also starts with the school education, where there is a big reform which is talked about. Instead of 10+2 system, we have 5+3+3+4, and the child comes into the system at the age of 3 instead of current 6 years. Informally, of course, in many places, there is either Balwadi, Anganwadi, or we call nursery, lower KG, upper KG, and children do go to some kind of education system at the age of 3 today also, but not all. This privilege is not there for all citizens. But in the future, every child will go to the school at the age of 3. And secondly, all the education will start in their mother tongue. In the initial first 5 years, completely in mother tongue, and even beyond next 3 years. All of that education is supposed to be done in preferably mother tongue. So if it is in Assamese, if it is in Uttar Pradesh in Hindi, in Maharashtra in Marathi, in Tamil Nadu in Tamil, I think that is a pure slow movement or transition from home to the school. Because the child learns the language at home without any teaching by anyone. From the mother, father, sister, brother, the child picks up the words. In the same manner, the child should learn not only the mother tongue, and the education is in mother tongue, but simultaneously the 3-language formula in terms of learning other 2 languages, not by writing scripts or reading scripts, but in terms of what we call it as playing games or telling stories in these languages, child will start picking up. I think that is what it is. And from the standard 6 onwards, a lot of skilling will start. And by the time a child completes the present 12 years of education and the future 15 years of education, after that 5+3+3+4, every child will be skilled in at least 2 different skill sets. It could be carpentry and painting, it could be the welding and electronics technician, it could be computer coding, it could be even artificial intelligence. I think if you are prepared at the end of that 15 years of education at the age of 18, you are fully prepared for taking up any job. And anyone who would like to get into a job, they will be employable, they will be creative, they will be capable. And those who want to come into higher education, there is a target fixed by 2035, gross enrollment ratio, even in the higher education, is supposed to be reaching 50% from the current 27% level. And such students who come into the system will obviously be well prepared for take on what is required, and their aptitude would have been already decided, what is his interest, etc. And I'm sure such students will do far better job in the higher education being creative. The next part is the policy also talks about examination reforms. And this is one of the most important things when we started engaging as an AICTE. These kind of initiatives started off more than 3 years ago. And I'm really happy, Chetan and Professor Singh, that whatever AICTE started in 2017 has all become part of the policy. So I think I feel many times proud that we were ahead of times by 3 years at least. So whether it is the continuous revision of curriculum, and when universities were not doing it, we did revision of curriculum and gave as a model curriculum. And when we said model, we did not say that this is to be followed by everyone. we said this is a model curriculum. You can tweak with that. Depending on the local needs, you can change whatever bit you want. And certain minimum things you take from out of this, because what is necessary for the future job requirements, future entrepreneurial ventures, those courses are to be added into the curriculum, which was not happening, and we added them. For example, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, machine learning, deep learning, robotics, 3D printing, blockchain, augmented reality, virtual reality, cloud computing, cyber security. These are the domains where 35 to 40% of the new jobs are going to be created. And if students do not know them, how do they perform in the industry? And therefore, we added them in the curriculum. Adding in curriculum is a much easier job, but teaching them in the class and then engaging students in those subjects was a next important challenge. And therefore, we started training of faculty in all these domains through Atal Academies, AICTE's training and learning academies in a big way. And faculty development and faculty, creativity has been completely blossoming out of this. In the first 1 year in the face-to-face mode, and in the pandemic, whatever we did in last 1 year earlier, before pandemic, during pandemic, through online mode of faculty development programs under Atal Academies, we have trained 4 times more faculty members in just 4 or 5 months. What we did achieve in 1 year, we have achieved same amount, but 4 times that amount in just 4 or 5 months. I think that is the power of technology. And the next 5 months, we are training 1 lakh faculty members in all these 10 to 12 most emerging technology areas. I think that is one part. So this is also being talked about in the policy, that the teacher education, teacher training should be a continuing process. Lifelong learning, this is what is the spirit of the policy, which is also being taken care of by us. Then faculty certification program never existed in higher education sector. For undergrad education or postgraduate education, a PhD or MTech or Masters or MPhil is good enough for starting the teaching career. Whereas in school, we require pedagogical knowledge, and therefore D.Ed, B.Ed was necessary in school and high school. Now we have made a 8-module mandatory faculty certification program. Unless one goes through those modules and gets a reasonable percentage of marks, 50%, and goes to an industry, does internship, and comes back and practices for 1 semester under the tutelage of a senior faculty member, he will not be permanent. He will remain temporary ad hoc. I think this is a game changer thing which we did it 2 years back. Now these courses are available freely, free of cost to anyone, not only technical faculty, but any faculty for that matter, from the MOOCs platform, SWAYAM, as well as from the NITR Chennai platform. But for technical faculty, they will have to undergo an examination. There is a small fee associated. I think this part is also indirectly taken, that teacher certification, teacher training has been emphasized. The next part, which is important, is internships. I think many times students do get a lot of theoretical knowledge in the universities and colleges, but where is it going to be applied? Where is it going to be used? How is it going to be used? I think this is lacking right from BA, BSc, BCom to BE and any other course, except few things like architecture. Architecture have a mandatory internship for a long time. Medical has an internship, and that's why you don't find any architect or a medical graduate becoming unemployed after he completes it. He can become at least a self-employed person immediately. Whereas in other domains, there were challenges. So AICT had already made internship mandatory more than 3 years ago, and we have an internship portal where even government departments are pitching their internship opportunities. There are private industries, startups, they're all pitching, and we are trying to match the number of students and the number of internships that are available for students. I think this is also a part of the policy which is existing. Then comes a very important part, which is examination and examination reforms. I think this is another area which is there in the policy, that our entire system of testing of the student is based on rote learning. You remember certain things and then come and write in the examination, you will get marks. And this unfortunately is from KG to PG. The KG question paper also, a teacher will ask what is A for apple, B for ball, C for cat, and same thing. And ratta maar ke wahi batate rehte. So from there to move on, how students will start thinking, whether it is critical thinking ability, whether it is analytical ability, whether it is ability to synthesize information, data analytics, whether it is creativity. all of this should become part of the question paper, and our question paper now says that it should not be more than 30% in memory-based questions. Rest of that should be in the other part. The policy also indirectly talks about the same, that examination reforms are necessary, moving away from rote learning, and this is all what is going to really test the student's ability in terms of whether he has understood, whether he is able to apply that knowledge to the practical field, can he solve the problems in the society. I think this is very, very significant when someone is going to interview you and take you for a job. And therefore, whether it is internship, the curriculum revision, as well as examination reforms associated with the grand challenges which we have thrown in terms of Smart India hackathons and started creating environment of innovation in all the institutions, asking institutions to set up innovation councils comprising of some faculty, some students, some alumni, some industry. I think this is making a change, and we can see the results already visible. From 81st rank in the Global Innovation Index, we have moved on, and today we stand at 48th. And if all of us use this new education policy in terms of all its facets, empowering in terms of giving opportunity to students to learn what he wants to learn, online education, going into the Swayam platform and taking whatever courses are of his interest other than the courses which are available in his own college and university, I'm sure entire population will become innovative. And in the years to come, our innovation index from present 48 will jump into within top 20s, top 10, and that is our potential. We must be in the top 10. We are one of the largest nations, second largest nation. In fact, 1/6 of the population of the world is here. 1/6 intelligence also is in India. And after graduation, when they go out in US, when they become CEOs of big companies like Microsoft or Apple, why can't they create Apples and Microsofts here itself? And that's why, whether it is startup ecosystem, whether it is innovation ecosystem, it's all part of the new education policy, has been already being experimented for the last 3 years by AICTE. And as I said, I'm very proud of that. Then last point is very, very important. Many studies have shown that there is a relationship between three things. One is GDP of the nation. How much GDP of the nation is used or utilized or spent on education? And then what is the research output? I think they are all correlated. They are absolute correlation. So we need to improve. First, GDP has to improve, and then more spending on education, which is often talked about as 6% or 10% of the revenue. This is what policy talks about. Currently, we spend about 4%. If we increase by 2%, I think we will certainly be in a position to catapult ourselves, pole vault jump we will take in terms of all the facets. And that will spin off further GDP growth because they feed to each other. If you spend more money on education, the quality of education improves, quality of the products improve, their employability improves, their capability of creating startups and entrepreneurial ventures will improve, that will create jobs, jobs will in turn create more GDP. So it is a cycle. And therefore, this policy, whatever it talks about supporting innovation and entrepreneurship on one side, supporting in terms of funding for research and innovation. In fact, National Research Foundation is a new idea, unlike multiple agencies who are funding our projects, whether it is DST, MHRD, DBT, BRNS. Now there is going to be one umbrella organization under which all the funding will be available for funding for not just science technology, but even humanities and social sciences, whether it is in history or archaeology. I think there will be funding available for large-scale projects invigorating ourselves. Now, the last couple of things, very important ones, are how we can create what we know as engagement of the students in terms of our own ancient knowledge systems. The pride that the candidate gets is from what was there in the past in the history. So ours was a country which had 64 kalas, which we say 64 different types of activities which were there involved. There were 51 different ways of learning which were involved. There were huge developments in mathematics, in physics, in astronomy, in terms of your material science, in terms of civil engineering, architecture, water resources, all the problems which are now today there in the global warming as well as pandemic like corona, or in terms of various types of issues of environment that we are facing today. In some way or other, there were solutions already existing. Why can't we reinvent them, learn those ancient scriptures and get back to how they are relevant to today, and not leave it at that being just proud of having that heritage is not good enough, but how do we take it forward? How do we do further research in these areas? And that is what is significant. And this policy talks about that value system, Indian knowledge systems, to be also imparted to the students. And then there are many other minor facets which are very, very interesting and important for leading the nation into the 21st century. And all of those facets, I'm sure all of you will deliberate in today's day. Many speakers are going to be there. So if I keep on speaking, I have another meeting also to go immediately hereafter. So I conclude here. I thank for inviting me, and I had very critical, very small window available, and I requested, and you allowed me between 10:15 to 10:35, 40. I have to go for another meeting at 10:45, then another at 11, and it will go on. You know, this is my daily routine these days. Pandemic has made us more busy. And when I say pandemic has made us busy, pandemic has also taught us many lessons which are there part of the education system. That means online education. How do you reach 50% GR? It is not by only brick and mortar universities. They will also be required in some places. But more importantly, a lot of online programs will also start. I think that is what we learned in the pandemic. There was no choice because we were all asked to be maintaining the social distancing, and therefore, how do we talk to each other? How do we teach students? How do we engage with each other? That was only through the platforms like whether it is WebEx, Microsoft Team, and all that. Now, the last part when I tell is about the regulatory framework. The new policy also talks about a single regulatory body, unlike multiple bodies like AICT, UGC, NCT, and so on and so forth. All of them are going to be merged into one apex body called HECI, Higher Education Commission of India. Finally, ministry may take a call to name it as the same or some other name, it doesn't matter. But there will be a single regulatory body with 4 verticals, one vertical taking care of the regulatory framework, the second one taking care of our funding, which presently large-scale funding is done by UGC or AICT for projects, for scholarships, for all of this. The third one is going to be the accreditation. Today, there are 2 accrediting bodies, NBA and NAC. They will also get merged in some way, and there will be one single accrediting body. The fourth one is standard setting body. That means a body which will set standards, outcomes that are desired out of that particular education. If you have to become a BA in psychology, what should be the outcome of that program and the student should be capable of doing? Or if it is a medical program, what should he be or she should be able to do at the end of that 4.5 years program? What should an engineer be capable of doing? Electronics engineer or mechanical engineer at the end of those four-year programs. And that is what is already being talked about in accreditation in terms of NBA accreditation. And also NAC has taken from NBA, and similar outcome-based education has already begun. So there is a lot of emphasis on that. So there is a body which sets the standards. Accrediting body is going to test it later, whether they are doing it or not. The regulatory body will permit new colleges and existing colleges to continue, and if they are not following this, they will withdraw the application or approval. And the funding agency will look at your quality of education and accordingly will give more or less funds. I think very clear demarcated 4 divisions or 4 vertical pillars under one HECI is also talked about. I think that will also bring in the famous statement in the policy, the regulation shall be light but tight. I think this is another area which many people were asking, what is this light and what is this tight? The light is, there will be no inspection Raj. Institutions may have to declare self-declaration that what they have, they don't have on the portal, and they will get approval without any hassles. But if someone has posted wrong information and trying to cheat the system, and if there are complaints, and if they are found to be true, the drastic action can be taken, very heavy penal action can be taken, that is tight. So I think light but tight regulation is also being talked about. I think there are many times there are private universities and colleges who complain to AICT stating that the experts came and they were asking ridiculous things, and sometimes they were also demanding some favors and all that. I think all of that is gone and will be gone. And fortunately, during this year, even before the policy came in, And because there was a deadline, AICTE adopted the policy of not visiting, but visiting through online mode and using Microsoft Team, 3 experts sitting in 3 different locations, visiting a campus or online mode, which is in a 4th location, and then asking the institutional people to show different facilities, everything being recorded. There cannot be any lies that institute can say, nor the experts can say. So everything is now available, as we say, in black and white. Now it is not black and white, it is available in color, in terms of videography, which is done during this entire proceedings. And therefore, there cannot be any charge of corruption. The entire regulatory framework has become very robust, transparent. I think this is, again, COVID-19 gift actually in some way. So with this, I conclude. Thank you very much, Chetan. If you have quick 1 or 2 questions, I will take on and then go on to the other meeting.
Chetan, unmute yourself, please.
Am I unmuted now?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for that very inspiring, insightful dissertation, as always. I just do hope that you recover from your cataract experience very well. But I can tell you,
I recovered, but when there is a bright light, I sometimes get tears in the eyes. So that's why I was wearing this. Otherwise, I'm fine.
I can assure you, sir, whatever happens to your eyes, nothing is going to happen to your vision. It's so crystal clear. It'll always continue to bless us. So, you're blessed with the vision, and I'm so blessed to have you to be able to tell us about that vision. Thank you, sir, and I hope you recover very early from your current state and your health recuperates. A quick question, and essentially that's by and large been, over the several interviews I've held with luminaries across the country on education. While they think that, like most policies which in this country there's a great mind behind the policy. But what's always the biggest challenge is the implementation, which requires an enormous amount of political will, both at the center and the state. Why should you feel this time things are different? That really is one very critical question, sir.
Like Chetan, naturally people have all this kind of misgivings because in the earlier policies, many good things were there and they were not implemented. But fortunately, this time, there are 2-3 reasons because of which we should be totally confident about it. Number one, the policy took 5 years to be decided. Earlier policies came up within 1 or 2 years. There was intense deliberation with all stakeholders. So that itself shows the commitment that people's views were taken into account. So even people are very prepared for accepting it. This is number one. Number two, soon after announcement of the policy on 29th of July, on the August 7th, within one week, the Prime Minister himself came onto the platform of MHRD and UGC, and then he immediately told that we will start implementing. And those famous words I remember. नीति तो अच्छी है, नीति अलमीरा में रखने के लिए नहीं है, नीति सर्कुलर भेजने के लिए नहीं है, नीति के ऊपर हमको रणनीति बनानी चाहिए और रोड मैप बनाना चाहिए, इम्प्लीमेंटेशन प्लान बनाना चाहिए और वो टाइमलाइंस के साथ में करते करते उसको रिव्यू करना चाहिए और उसके बाद उसको जो भी रिसोर्सेस लगते हैं वो रिसोर्सेस को भी हमको जोड़ना चाहिए. ऐसे I think that itself shows. And then within the next 7 days, on the August 14th, you said in the beginning, the Ministry of HRD's name was already changed to Ministry of Education. So people asked, when is it going to be implemented? The implementation started in the first 15 days of the policy being announced. And then regarding all other facets, whether it is examination reforms, whether it is curricula, whether it is innovation, whether it is research, National Research Foundation, already the different committees are doing work. Implementation plans are being discussed by all bodies different state governments, different universities are continuously holding webinars, and all that input is coming to the ministry, and very soon there will be change in the act also, amendment to the act or a new act will come. So I think within 1 year, almost all the facets of the policy, whichever are being enunciated, will come into place. And it is not that just on August 7th that the Prime Minister came. The President of India also came on a visitors conference and he deliberated twice on this policy. Prime Minister came on that day also and another two occasions. I think when Prime Minister starts speaking about the policy and its implementation 4-5 times in just about 2 months, you can be rest assured that the policy is going to see the light of the day.
Us, it's 10:45, exactly the time that you had given us. So I'm not going to keep you waiting. It's always been a pleasure to hear from you. I'm sure each and every one of us in this webinar, not just in this webinar, but also that's been going out live on our Facebook pages, will be a huge beneficiary as always. I do understand that the AICT will come in a new avatar once it's combined with the UGC. But what I do hope, sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, is somebody like you will continue to play a very significant role for the education of this country, as you have done over the years. Thank you for all that you continue to do.
Yeah, thank you, Chetan. I'm exactly on 10:45 quitting. I had given you time
Yes.
of 10:45.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Sir.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
sir.
Yeah,
Please take care of your health. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, now let's go over to Dr. Pansari. Can you hear me, please?
Yes.
Dr. Pansari sir, thank you. I had the pleasure of introducing you. Did you hear my introduction to you? Because unfortunately, so I will just give the dais over to you, because without much ado about anything, everybody is very keen to listen to you and to get inspired by you. So over to you, sir. Thank you for gracing this occasion. Please spare us these minutes and let us know what are your thoughts about the future of bright minds who are now a part of your great institution.
Thank you, Chetan. Before I begin, let me invoke God. I pray God. God bless us all. Bless our university. Bless our teaching staff. Bless our students. Your blessing only can help this tough and challenging time. Only your blessing can help us achieving our mission and vision. Your blessing only can help my dear students achieve their aim in life. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and my dear teachers and students, and of course, the parents who must be attending this very inaugural orientation program of Royal Global University. I extend a very heartful welcome to you all to Royal Global University. I must also congratulate you for an excellent choice that you have made, your parents have made. You are now part of an institution that strives for excellence in all areas of research and teaching. An institution which is known for its discipline, value system, quality education, besides world-class infrastructure. We believe our institution is great, it's good, it's very good, but it's only your effort which can make it an excellent institution. Royal Global University has got a strong team of dedicated teachers. On the top, we have 5 ex-vice chancellors of various universities who are there to guide our young team of teachers and also to show the path of bright future to the students. The institution, the university, is headed by a very dynamic leader, Dr. S.P. Singh, who is the Vice Chancellor of the university. As Sri Anil Chester said about the new education policy or syllabus or the institution, it's being light but very tight. Our Vice Chancellor, when you come to the campus, will see is equally very light, but at the same time very tight. Some of the teachers are also joining this session. I welcome to these teachers as well. My dear students, I know you are and you were very excited for this very important day of your life when you have passed out your school class 12 and are going to join a bigger institution of higher education, a college, a university. Today was a very important day in your life. I know you are missing the campus. As much we as the manager of this university are missing your beautiful faces. This day used to be a very, very vibrant day in our campus. But nevertheless, we have always to compromise with the circumstances and with the situation. The online education only has come in our way to supplement, which can never be, of course, the substitute of the physical classroom, but definitely, as we call, that necessity is the mother of invention. Once the pandemic started, this online education has come a great tool for continuing the education. And I tell you, Royal Global University and Royal Global School has taken the lead role in imparting education right from day one. And lot of webinar, seminar, lot of speakers are invited to guide you. And I'm sure you can take best advantage through online education as well. However, I pray God and I wish soon everything is all right and you start coming to the campus. But we must learn as to, and we must try to understand why this pandemic. I'm not going into the debate about this manufactured at China or elsewhere, but I'm sure that it is something like, fury of the God, the wrath on human being. And we must learn as to what went wrong that these things are happening. I believe that there are certain rule of nature. And mankind, after having achieved so much in advancement in the so-called civilization, at the same time has broken rules of God, rules of nature. We have compromised to that extent. We have not been kind to the water, to the air, to the nature, to the plants, to the animals, and even the human beings were not kind to the human being. And that's why we had to face these kind of challenges. We must learn the art during this pandemic period that we need to be good human being. We need to be for what we have been made by God. And I wish you all on this very first day to take a place that rather than, and beside being a great student, you all need to be a great human being. I had read a very beautiful book written by on Sachin Tendulkar, Playing It My Way. It's an autobiography. In the first para, he has quoted his father. As a parent, I would be happier hearing people say Sachin is a good human being than Sachin is a great creator any day. I believe we at the helm of affairs of the university will be more happy to see people telling that the students who have passed out from Royal Global University are great human beings than they say that they are big and all-time great students. Abdul Kalam ji has once quoted somewhere that when there is righteousness in the character, there is beauty in the. When there is righteousness in the heart, there is beauty in the character. And when there is beauty in the character, there is harmony at home. And when there is harmony at home, there is order in the nation. And when there is order in the nation, there is peace in the world. I believe that my students will have righteousness in their heart. My dear students, attitude always matters and will matter always in your life, in your campus or elsewhere after you have passed out your completed your education. Narayan Murthy he has once said that when the students after having passed out their IIT and IIM come to their campus to get the job, most of them are not employable because of course, the defective system of education is going to be taken care of by our new education policy, which is a wonderful piece of document. And Mr. Sahastra Buddhi has very rightly, in a very short span of time, has given some highlights of the new education policy. I pray that that's the right thing which has happened for so many years. And now we feel that we are doing and we are in the right sector of imparting the education which will take India to the path of Vishwaguru. So Narayan Murthy was saying that what they see amongst the students who are not employable, having very high score and having passed out from the best of the institutions, they see the attitude of the students. The students, the people who have got positive attitude, they employ them only. They know that they are intelligent guys, girls and boys. Once their attitude is positive, they are going to learn the practical aspect of what they need to do, and they will be great human beings and great employees of the organization. My dear students, try to be, again I am quoting Abdul Kalamji, and even the new education policy has taken much care of the fact that our students should be employable. They should be job creator. They should be entrepreneur rather than job seeker, and that is the need of the hour. And more particularly in our state, where there is huge and ample opportunity to explore the nature, explore the various potentiality available, and become successful entrepreneur. Even our Honorable Prime Minister, in the new mission and vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat, he has emphasized for the students community to become self-reliant, to become entrepreneurs, and to lead the nation. Even when we talk about our country to become the superpower by 2030, we had certain agenda that we have to fulfill to become the superpower. Those important issues which can take us to superpower are gender equality. We are still lagging behind to see that these two wheels of a vehicle go together. Innovation and research is the most important tool, and for which the university is the right campus where our students will look for new innovations, and they will emphasize on research. Multiple agriculture, world-class university, and student become entrepreneur. Corruption, of course, has to be reduced to as much low as nil, and GDP has to go above 12%. That only can make India superpower. So my plea to all of you to become self-reliant, to become entrepreneur, to become job provider rather than job seeker. My dear students, once you come to the campus, you will see a very small statue, a kind of bust in our campus, where there is a stone bust which is a symbol of a man making oneself with a hammer and a cutter. That gives precisely the idea of that here in the campus, the students need to work hard. Your teachers can only guide you. They can show you the path to your success, but it is you who need to do hard work. Man, make it thyself. I also can quote one thing from the book of Abdul Kalamji. He was a student in a school at Ramanathpuram, where there was a quotation on the front board of the school: "Let not die which days be spent in vain. When once gone, no gold can buy them back." It means that the best days of our lives were now, when we were learning and we had to make the most of this time. Once gone, the time would run like sand between our fingers, and we would never get it back again. So, my dear students, I pray and request you to utilize the best of your time during your being with the Royal Global University, whether online or physically. I wish that you have very good time in the campus. When you start coming to the campus, we have very awesome hostel facilities, the laboratories, the various logistics. Those have been created for you to welcome here. You will really enjoy. With these few words, I once again welcome you, and I pray that this pandemic is over sooner and you start coming. And even before that, you will start coming. I know that we have to live with the pandemic, and we, of course, have to maintain the rules for being away from this kind of disease, like using of the masks, the social distancing. The campus is all ready and all set to obey this and see that you are not being infected. And while at home, I'll request you to take maximum advantage of the online sessions, various webinar, etc., being organized by the university. We see that many of the students avoid to participate. These are very, very important, my dear students. You must participate in each and every activities online. And more particularly, I would also like that tell you that this is the time. I have written an article on the topic, sharpen your axe. This is the time for sharpening for all the teachers and students. They should try. I could have explained this with an example. Say there is a wood cutter who took 3 hours to cut the tree, and then when he tired, he took rest for another 3 hours, and then he again started cutting with that old axe, and he took another maybe 4 hours. That means he took altogether 10 hours to cut the tree. But this is the time, once you have cut the tree for 3 hours, and then you think that let me sharpen my axe, maybe you can finish the cutting of the rest of the tree by another 1 hour or so. That means the total time spent by you will be lesser than Mr. X, who did the work without sharpening his axe. So this is the time that we should utilize the time in the best possible way. Sharpen our axe means sharpen our skills, various skills which are there. We should not waste our time. Probably that sharpening of our skills will help us achieving our aim faster, sooner, and in better way. With these few words, once again, I request you to take maximum advantage of this organization, this university, online, and when you are in the campus, stay safe, stay healthy, and I request you to take special and very, very special care of people at home, maybe your parents, your grandparents. With these few words, I once again welcome you to Royal Global University, my dear students, and will end up my deliberation with these 2 lines. मेहनत करने वालों की कभी हार नहीं होती, मेहनत करने वालों की कभी हार नहीं होती, तूफानों से डरने से कश्ती दरिया पार नहीं होती. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Pansari. It's always such a pleasure to listen to you and to learn from you. We often say that, there's only one way to fight this big sea of COVID, is by 3 C's. The C's of being creative, of being collaborative, and being corrective. And you as a leader have been all that and much more. So thank you for continuing to inspire us with whatever you choose to do, and by making this great institution the pride of the Northeast. That's all for me. I will continue to interact with you students over the year through Professor S.P. Singh. Thank you for this opportunity. So over to you, Pranam.
I would put it this way: education illuminates a person's mind and thinking. It helps students to plan for work or pursue a higher education while graduating from the university. Having education in an area definitely helps people think, feel, and behave in a way that contributes to their success. And like our Honorable Chancellor Sir said, and many other speakers, that a proper education would definitely make us job creators and not job seekers, which is the need of the hour. And I believe that everyone is entitled to have education from cradle to grave, and you have this opportunity to come for higher education, and you have chosen Royal, and I'm sure you will make the most out of it. And we are thankful to our speakers today for their pearls of wisdom. We thank Dr. Anil Chester, Chairman, All India Council for Technical Education, for his precious time and valuable advice. We understand that with the operation, he must have been advised to take rest or rest his eyes. Least of all, look at any screen, as he also mentioned, but we can't but thank him enough for gracing us despite all that. His presence has greatly boosted the morale of our students, I'm sure of that. We are immensely thankful to Mr. Chetan Sharma for extending his very pertinent assistance in conducting this session. As always, your knowledge, your strategic and managerial skills has made the session very interesting and a success. I extend my deep gratitude and thank you again. We are greatly thankful and indebted to Honorable Chancellor Dr. A.K. Pansari for being a regular facilitator for the best in all spheres for the students in academics. Thank you, sir, for your time and words. We thank Pro-Chancellor Shri A.K. Modi for his time and for being a 24/7, 365 days a year support to this institution. We definitely cannot thank enough Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. S.P. Singh, for being ever so dynamic and bent on providing the best of the opportunities to teachers and students alike for a better future. Thank you, sir, for your time even today and your words. We would like to thank Chairperson Academics, Dr. A.T. Raghai, for his constant guidance in moving up and make us move up in the academic ladder. Thank you so much, sir. We thank Registrar Madam Angira Mimani for being the silent yet strong support behind all our endeavors. We would also like to thank Executive Vice President Mr. Ankur Pansari, who has also been playing a key role in all academic and non-academic matters. Thank you. And I would take this opportunity to extend my gratitude to every faculty member and the management for planning and facilitating this entire program, and especially this first session of the orientation. Most importantly, the star of the day, dear students, I thank you all for placing your trust in RGU. I believe with our mutual trust and reciprocal endeavors, we will efficiently sail through to the day of your graduation in the blink of an eye. Thank you for attending the program, and I'm sure you have been oriented right. With this, we come to an end of the first session of day one, but we shall immediately commence with session two. And we are very delighted to be joined by Professor Ved Prakash, former Chairman UGC. We eagerly look forward to his deliberation, and dear students, please make the most out of it. This session will be moderated by Ms. R.P. Sekya. I request everyone, and especially the students, to remain on time. Thank you for session one.
Thank you so much, Dr. Pranami Bhattacharya. And good morning to our invited speaker, Professor Ved Prakash, former Chairperson, University Grants Commission. A very warm welcome to you, sir. I also take the opportunity to welcome our esteemed members of the audience, dignitaries, and my dear students. Earlier today, we had an invigorating session with Dr. Anil Chester, Chairman AICTA, Dr. A.K. Pansari, Chancellor, Royal Global University, and Professor S.P. Singh, Vice Chancellor, Royal Global University. The orientation program aims to formally welcome our fourth batch of undergraduate students to the university. I take this opportunity to introduce our invited esteemed speaker for the session, Professor Ved Prakash. Sir, if you may kindly grant me the permission. We are privileged to have amongst us Professor Ved Prakash, a world-renowned educational administrator. Professor Ved Prakash is a recipient of the U.S. Fulbright Postdoctoral Fellowship, has held a number of coveted positions in premier national and international organizations. Professor Ved Prakash has the unique distinction of serving the University Grants Commission, Government of India, the apex organization of the higher education in the country, in all the three key positions as Secretary, Vice Chairman, and Chairman. He has successfully served as the Chairman of UGC for 6 years and 3 months, a feat that needs to be applauded. Sir has also served as the founder, Vice Chancellor of National University of Educational Planning and Administration. In addition, Professor Ved Prakash also has served as Advisor, Education Planning Commission, Government of India, as Acting Chairman, National Council for Teacher Education, as Professor in Head, Department of Educational Measurement and Evaluation, National Council for Educational Research and Training, NCERT, New Delhi, as Associate Professor, Institute of Banking Personnel Selection, IBPS, Bombay, and as Joint Director, Staff Selection Commission, SEC, Government of India. Sir has been a visiting faculty at the Humanities Research Group, University of Windsor, Canada, and a guest faculty at Harvard Institute of International Development, Harvard University, Cambridge. Besides, he has worked as a consultant for World Bank. It's a privilege to have you amongst us, sir. Sir has also been honored with awards such as he was the Chancellor of KIIT University, Bhubaneswar from 2008 to date. He is the Vice President of DAV National Management Committee in New Delhi from January 2020 to date. Professor Emeritus, Meghalaya University of Science and Technology, Meghalaya from July 2019 to date. And member of jury for UNESCO APEIT Venue Award for Educational Innovation from 2010 to date, and honoris causa conferred by Pandit Ravi Shankar Shukla University, Raipur in 2013. Sir, your profile will take a lot of time for us because you have been so much instrumental in contributing in the field of education, sir. And besides this, sir has also participated In a dialogue with US government officials in Washington and senior faculty members of the University of Chicago, Yale, Columbia, Wisconsin, Howard, Georgetown, New York City, Northwestern, Stanford, and Hawaii. So has visited as many as 30 countries. So, sir, we are privileged to have such a world-renowned and well-known educationist amongst us, sir. So before we move ahead to your session, I would request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor S.P. Singh, sir, to kindly welcome our guest speaker for today, sir.
Thank you so much, Harpreet. Good morning, Professor Ved Prakash. From Royal Global University, we are really delighted and we feel blessed today to find you amongst us. Somehow or other, we could not, bring you to the campus, but this pandemic time and digital time has given us opportunity to request you and find you amongst us today. So I'm, sir, feeling very happy today, and I'm feeling great. And my all students, faculty members, Honorable Chancellor Dr. A.K. Pansari, Honorable Pro Chancellor, all are attending this webinar today. And I tell you from my personal behalf, I heartily welcome you for this webinar. But more than that, I just want to say a few words about you, not part of introduction, but what I learned from you. I know the straight talking behavior of Professor Ved Prakash, the way once I meet him, even for 15 minutes or 20 minutes, every time I come back with some new learning, and I can say on this platform today and whenever it is required that you are a very huge source of motivation for me. You are a fatherly figure to me, and I bow upon you and always learn something or other, even I speak to you for a minute on phone. So you're welcome, sir. I will not take much time. We are really eager to listen from you, and I hope my students will be deeply benefited and motivated by your deliberation. Thank you, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, RP, for kind words that you have used for me. Honorable Chancellor of the Royal Global University, Dr. Pansari. My very valued friend, Professor R.P. Singh, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of the Royal Global University, Guwahati. The distinguished members of the faculty. I'm getting the echo. Can you ask the state to set it right, please?
I'm getting the echo.
There is some problem.
Yeah.
So the systems they're working on.
Everybody should mute themselves. Yeah.
Everything is echoing actually. When you speak, it also echoes.
Yes, sir. My voice is also echoing. I know. Vijay, guys, get it corrected quickly. IT team. Sir, wait for a minute, sir. Vijay?
Done, sir. Done.
Done?
Yes,
It's
sir.
done, sir. So it's done.
Okay. Right. Thank you very much. Distinguished members of the faculty of Royal Global University and my dear students. I was approached by Professor S.P. Singh to speak to the freshers today. And I joined the Honorable Chancellor, the Vice Chancellor, the Pro Chancellor, and the members of the faculty in extending a very warm welcome to you to Royal Global University. Let me share something with you today, which are going to be of some significance to you whilst you study with the Royal Global University. You are transiting from a school system to the university system. So the first and the foremost thing which comes to my mind is that you should try to understand the difference between these two centers of learning. I will not say they are distinctly different, but they are certainly different from each other. University is a place where new knowledge would be new knowledge is sought and freely transferred actually. This is the place where you will find that the education which you are going to receive It will free you from the shackles of ignorance, prejudices, and unfounded beliefs. This is going to be the place where you are going to prepare yourself for not only for life, but also for the society and for the nation and for the humanity at large, actually. This would be a place where you are going to learn a great deal about the harmony and the significance of the humanity. That will be a place where you would find enlightening things happening around you. And you are going to learn a great deal by way of interacting with the students coming from different parts of the country, also from abroad. And each student will bring on him or her the culture and values, actually, which is going to make you richer. And you are going to get that free of charge. You don't have to make any investment for that. You will get it free of charge, provided you keep your ears and eyes wide open and you have an attitude to embrace those culture and to embrace those values. You will also realize that you will get greater wisdom about the meaning of patriotism. The meaning of patriotism would warrant that you should have room for diversity, where you respect each and every person around you. You will find that this would be a place where the universal knowledge exists. Whilst you would be pursuing your own area of study, but you will also have enough to learn from the fellow colleagues who would be of pursuing education in different domains of knowledge. You will have access to the library, where from you can learn a great deal by way of reading books which are not only related to your area of study, but other areas as well. And you will also realize that in the schooling system, what you will see, that you will see a particular pattern, actually, and pattern which conforms only to particular domain of knowledge or particular stream of knowledge. Here you will find that it would not conform only to one pattern of education. It might differ from stream to stream, which would give you enough learning experience. It would also differ from teacher to teacher, actually, because every teacher has her own style of articulating, transacting the course content, assessing the students. The biggest thing that you will get here is that you will get an opportunity to develop the social temper of democracy, which means that you will get the opportunity to develop confidence in one another. That is going to be the real learning. And that is what is required when parents hold this aspiration that we want our child to become a good human being. If you ask any parent, they will not say that I would like to make my son an astronaut, or I would like to make my son a physicist. They would say, we want that our child should become a good human being. And this is how you can become a good human being, actually. This would be a place to remove disparity between what nation needs and what university offers. You will have to, you will learn the significance of the national calls. And national calls may be different from that of the university's call. You will also find the difference that you will see people around you striving to realize new dreams and not to get hypnotized by the past. This is going to be the place which will promote democracy, justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity, what is enshrined in our constitution. And you would also learn one thing, that the university being a social organization, you are going to get learning within that social context. Teachers would try to enlighten your minds through quality teaching, but much would depend upon you, that how are you going to make the most out of the facilities available on the campus, out of the teachings of the teachers who are going to teach you particular area, a particular subject of study. This would be a place where you would find people prioritizing their needs actually, and you will also have to do that. When you enter into the gate of the university, you must aspire to becoming the best actually, and which is an aspiration. There's nothing wrong about it, to becoming the best, if you have that kind of an aspiration. And university is going to provide you only the tools. University is not going to make you the best. University would provide you the tools, the apparatuses, the human resources to make you a successful professional actually, a successful leader in your area of specialization, and a good human being. So you will see around that some teachers would be passionately involved in their scientific advancements. You are going to get inspiration from them. The kind of opportunities that you would get in the university, you do not get in the school system. University will also provide you inspiring learning and living environment actually. I have been to that campus and I have seen the institutional ambience of this university. I have seen the institutional ethos and I was deeply impressed by that. So you are going to get, along with your teaching, along with your learning, you are going to get that inspiring learning and living environment. Now you have to make the most out of that to transform yourself into an outstanding human being. You will get an opportunity to participate in discourses, not only in your area of studies, but on wider issues of contemporary and historical significance. I know that your Vice Chancellor is a very dynamic person and he keeps organizing different kinds of events which will give you an opportunity to know what is happening around you and what is happening around the world actually. And mind you that you can be at your best only when you participate actively in those kinds of discourses of historical and contemporary significance. So the question arises that how should you decide your priorities in the next 4 years if you are going to pursue an engineering program, or 3 years if you are going to pursue an undergraduate program in humanities and social sciences. I would say that the first and the foremost priority of yours must be to attain academic excellence. No one can articulate academic excellence actually. It cannot be defined by anybody, because excellence is such an attribute that when you achieve excellence in a particular area, then the bar automatically goes up, and then you have to work harder and harder to reach that bar. And you should also know that excellence derives from hard work, excellence derives from discipline, and excellence derives from the commitment. So you will have to look up for them and constantly develop and promote them. In order to becoming the best, you must embrace all of them. One of them is not going to work actually, because one of them might be an enabler to realize the other one. And if one is going to be an enabler, then you have to acquire that first in order to realize the subsequent attribute. So your first priority as a student on the campus should be improved academic excellence in every semester. If you have performed at a certain level in the first semester, your priority should be and your goal should be that you have to improve your earlier performance actually. And for which you will have to work harder, for which you will have to find out what is that has not worked in the earlier semester. You will have to overcome that. You will also have to look up for something which will propel you to do better in the subsequent semester. And for that, teachers are not going to set standards for you. The parents are not going to set the standards for you. You will be away from home. Teachers will teach, they will guide, they will counsel, but you yourself will have to set standards for yourself. And then you will have to work hard to realize those standards. Setting standards alone is not going to help you. But hard work to realize those standards will help you. And how will you do it? You can do it only when you are a self-motivated person. Somebody will come and give you a lecture like me. You might get motivated, you might not get motivated. Sometimes you get motivated, you get inspired, but that inspiration and motivation remains for a very shorter period with you. The real motivation should be the intrinsic motivation. It must come from within. And that is the real virtue actually. So you have to be a very motivated person in order to realize your goals. Since you are going to pursue a professional program, and for that matter the other programs as well, you have to acquire entrepreneurial sense through guided learning. Teachers are going to teach, and from that teaching you will acquire some kind of entrepreneurship. You can also acquire entrepreneurship through peer group learning. Peer group learning is as important as the guided learning when teachers teach and you learn. But learning whilst interacting with your classmates, whilst debating on subjects, areas, that learning is going to be far more important. There would also be third kind of learning that is known as self-learning, when you will go back to your rooms, you will go back to your home, and you will learn from the instructional material. So you are going to get three opportunities of learning. One, when the teacher is teaching in your class. The second, when you are interacting with your classmates. And the third, when you are going to interact with the instructional materials in the form of textbooks, reference books, notes, tutorials. So you have to transform yourself into a serious, well-meaning and well-intentioned person. And you should always try to lead in frontier areas of your studies actually. Many a time what happens that if I have to teach chemistry, I have to teach periodic table, I will teach only the periodic table. And I will teach periodic table as a history. I'm going to tell you the symbols of the elements, the atomic number, the masses, and their different groups, from 0 group to different groups, that there will be 118 elements. I'm going to teach you the art of moving forward from the periodic table. How the earlier scientists have invented 118 elements. Of them, how many are natural elements? How many are made in the laboratory? And how can we go beyond 118 to 119 and 120? So that kind of, in order to have that kind of curiosity, you must ask questions to your teachers. You must force them to let you know. You should push them against the wall professionally and academically. And that would require an art of questioning, not only listening in the class. And that is going to improve the overall academic ambience of the university. The teachers will have to prepare themselves before they walk into the class. The old notes are not going to work because they would know that the children are so inquisitive that they are going to put hard questions, and for which they will have to prepare extra. And in the process, you are going to create a healthy academic competition in your class. If you are going to do it, the others are also going to do it. And if others would do it, you are going to know things more and more and more. So the overriding question is that how do you know that you are the best? You are holding the aspiration. Parents are holding the aspiration that you want to be the best. But the question, the overriding question is that how do you know that you are the best? The simple, statement that I am the best in the class has got very little meaning. Even if you have topped the class. Because academic excellence alone is not good enough to becoming the best. In order to becoming the best, you have to have lot many other values, other virtues. So my advice to you would be to set goals. Goals in academics, goals in extracurricular activities, goals as a responsible citizen, and then try to compete with yourself. Don't compete with others to begin with. You compete with yourself, and that competition will let you know whether you are moving in the right direction or you are not moving in the right direction, or you are tripping. And when you find that you are successfully realizing the goals that you have set for yourself in academics, in extracurricular activities, in social life, in improving the overall ambience of the university, then there is nothing wrong to compete with others who would also be having those kinds of goals for themselves. And when you find that a student who had done better than you, if you find that in that competition you are neck to neck with him, then you can say that yes, that I am close to my goal now. And when you start winning in those competitions, only then you can say that you are the best. But that competition should not remain confined, I'm reiterating it once again, only to academics. And these are the ideals actually that you need to reaffirm through your commitment to achieve excellence. And now I'm going to take you a little farther from academic excellence in order to knowing that you are truly the best. You will be the best when you value the ideals of the Constitution, the institutions created through the Constitution, national flag, national anthem. You will be the best when you cherish the noble ideas which inspire our national struggle for freedom. You will be the best when you are going to improve the overall environment of your campus. I'm saying very small things, you will not walk on the grass, you are not going to pluck the flowers. So, improvement of the environment of the campus is going to be of great consequence. And another thing, that since you are going to mix with the fellow classmates from different parts of the country and from abroad, you will promote the harmony and the spirit of the common brotherhood amongst them. Notwithstanding the fact that there would be linguistic variations, religious variations, regional variations. So you will denounce all those variations, and you will treat every individual with dignity. You will also promote the rich heritage of our composite culture, which is the strength, and on the basis of which we say unity in diversity is the strength of the country. Along with that, you will be the best only when you develop a scientific temper. You will not accept anything simply because your vice chancellor is saying. You will not accept anything because something is said by your teacher. So the spirit of inquiry is going to be of greater essence in your life. And you will also ensure you will become the best when you institutionalize, internalize that you have a duty to protect the public property and to abjure violence. And the last thing that I would like to say, you will be the best only when you continually strive to achieve excellence, collectively, individually first, and then collectively as well. I mean, you may be the best in the class. What kind of recognition are you going to receive if your class of 30 students or 25 students is declared as the best class on the campus? So you should strive individually towards excellence and also collectively towards excellence. And once you develop that kind of a spirit, only then the nation will rise to higher levels of endeavor and achievement. So you have to embrace these things during your university days. And remember one thing more, that we often talk about the deterioration of values. We all often talk about the deterioration of ethics. First of all, you should understand that values and ethics, though are intertwined, but they are distinctly different from each other. So you should know the difference between these two. Ethics does not provide you any leverage actually. They are highly regimented. Values provide you some kind of flexibility. And values emanate from two sources. One is the values based on universal perception, and another values based on constitutional imperatives. So I would request my dear friend Professor Spising, in fact, to share with them when they come, or through electronic mail if they are not, if they are going to resort to only remote teaching and learning for some time to come, the values based on constitutional imperatives and a list of values based on universal perception and values based on constitutional imperatives. Though we seem to be quite familiar with values based on universal perception, at times we remain ignorant about values which are based on constitutional imperatives, and they are of equally they are of equal significance actually. I'll come to the next point now. The next point is about the stress. you will get stress. Sometimes that stress may be because of homesickness. Sometimes that stress may be because of the pressure of studies. Sometimes the stress may be because of the quality of food. So these are the inevitabilities in the life of a student. How are you going to manage that stress? You will have to learn the art of managing the stress. And stress may be of two types actually. One is the physical stress, and the other could be the mental stress. Almighty has given such capacity to your body that it automatically can manage the physical stress. It remains for a little while and then it vanishes. You don't do anything. It is the internal mechanism of the body which takes care of the physical stress. But mental stress is such a stress that it would require some kind of orientation on your part. The mental stress could be overcome through meditation. And if you find young boys and girls, they find it strange actually, they find it difficult to meditate. They don't want to do that. But let me tell you that it is going to be a great remedy. And if you find that the meditation is a small fix, then you combine meditation with the exercise. Go into the playground, jog, run, and that stress will disappear. Howsoever tired you may be in the evening when you reach home, if you go for a small stroll, if you go for a walk with your father, with your mother, with your sister, brother, you get enormous amount of relaxation. So remember that. The last part is about the success, because the parents are sending you to parents have got you admitted in the university and they would want you to succeed in life. The teachers would also want to succeed in life. If you are going to display outstanding performance, your teacher is going to get the credit for that. And SP Singh and Dr. Pansari, they are going to felicitate her or felicitate him for the good work that he has or she has done. But success in life is not a destination. It is a journey actually. And which is why it is said that success is 99% failure. Because when you reach your destination, as I had said earlier, that the bar automatically goes up and then you start working for that. So it cannot be a destination. So there are three things actually which can help you succeed in life. You can take them as mantras. One is that you have to stay put as a lifelong learner, and for which, right from this stage, when you are a student and you are young and energetic, motivated, start collecting good books, not only of your subjects, but of other subjects as well. You are going to get inspiration by reading the biographies of the statespersons, world statespersons actually. Read the biographies of the most outstanding scientists. Read the biography of Madame Marie Curie, who got 2 Nobel Prizes, one in physics and another is in chemistry. The only lady until this day you are going to get inspiration from her. So invest on books rather than investing on branded shoes, Apple Watch, swanky phones. Spend, that is going to be your jewelry actually. That is going to be your real asset. When you are done with your profession, you should have a very beautiful library at your place of residence. So start collecting that treasure right from this stage. The second thing, you must always see inspiring dreams. Your dreams may not be fulfilled all the time, but they will keep you on the right track. And the third thing, which is the reality of life, and which is quite harsh as well, that there are more downs in life than ups. And if that is so, then you need to learn the art of playing the curved balls in life, like Virat Kohli does, like Sachin Tendulkar does, like Sunil Gavaskar did. I mean, that art is of greater significance. You need to learn the art of transforming your failures into successes. You also need to learn the art of learning from others' mistakes. Why should you repeat the mistakes committed by others? Should not be replicated, repeated. That kind of an experience is a bad experience, and it is wastage of time. So why should you not save time? These are the things which will, you should also know one thing, that nothing comes in life without hard work. Dr. Pansari has created this university in the city of Guwahati. SP Singh has become the vice chancellor of this university. Look into their life a little, just peep, not look into, just peep, and you will know how have they reached the destination where they are today. So there are no substitute for hard work. Similarly, nothing also comes in life without discipline. I personally am of the opinion that there should not be any distinction between the life of a student and the life of a soldier. And the third thing, you should understand the significance of the power of perseverance. हिंदी में एक दोहा है कि करत करत अभ्यास के जड़मती होत सुजान और रसरी आवत जात के सिल पर पड़त निशान. So never ever give up something which you find harder. Remain absolutely unfazed. Don't lose your patience. Remember George Sewell. He had said, and I quote, "A man who is a master of patience is a master of everything else." I was slightly unhappy with SP Singh. And look, he phoned me up, and in the very first sentence, he set me right. So you have to have patience. Another thing that I would like to remind you is, if you want to be known as a good human being on the campus of Royal Global University, then you must treat everyone with dignity and respect. Only then you will be known. The rowdy behavior, the machism, they do not bring in recognition of a person. Never. You can flaunt the power of your father, actually, the power of your parents. But that is not going to bring recognition to you. So treat everyone with dignity if you want to be truly the best on the campus of the university. And I'm going to tell you one thing very important for life. There are two things in the life of a person. One is the dignity and another is the identity. Never ever compromise your identity and dignity. You will no longer remain a human being of substance once you compromise your dignity and your identity. Don't allow anyone to encroach upon these two attributes of yours. And you are born with them. You lose them over a period of time because of your ignorance. So that is the real treasure of yours. And I would like to go back once again. I'm reminded now of an anecdote of Benjamin Franklin, who was a very tall leader who put the American Constitution together, who was a great inventor. He was a multifaceted personality, actually. And he had once said, and this is good for you today as a student, and this will be good for you as a parent in 5 years from hence, or 6 years from hence, or 8 years from hence. And he said, and I quote, investment in education gives you the best interest. Unquote. Which is why I had said that buy good books, develop a good library. And our Professor Kothari, who is known, or who was a great physicist, he had also said in his commission's reports that education is considered as a unique investment both in the present and the future. So, if you want to decorate your present, I think you will have to do that. Now, I would like to, since I had talked about Marie Curie, I would like to share a quote of hers when she went to receive the second Nobel Prize. And she said, and I quote, "Nothing is to be feared in life. It is only to be understood. And now is the time to learn more so that we can fear less." Unquote. So you have reached that stage, and university is going to help you attain that level, which was envisioned by no less a person than Madame Marie Curie. And I can go on and on, but one must be mindful of the time. But let me also share one quote of, I will share two now, because I can see Dr. Pansari sitting, so let me share two. He had gone away for a little while. So this is the quote of John R. Wooden. He had said, and I quote, and my dear students, let me put a caveat here. This is going to be of greater significance to you as a student. What John Wooden had said, and I quote, "Be more concerned with your character than your reputation. Because your character is what you really are. while your reputation is merely what others think you are. So this is the difference, sorry, unquote. This is the difference between these two, and you should know that. Now, I'm going to share a quote of John Gardner. No, it's a thought actually of John Gardner. S.P. Singh would have listened it earlier also. I'm very fond of sharing it. And at my age, the people become repetitive because they do not know how many times they have said it to the same person. This is the problem of the old age. But I know that I'm interacting with the children and not with S.P. Singh. So, S.P. Singh, I can take that liberty. So, this is the quote of John Gardner, and this is good for you, for your parents, for your grandparents, and which is why I said Dr. Pansari. And I quote, "The things that we need to learn in maturity are not simple things like acquiring information and knowledge from the books. We need to learn not to burn our energy in anxiety." मेरे पिताजी, unquote. I can't refrain from remembering my father. He was not a lettered man actually. I will never say he was uneducated, but he did not know how to read and write. वो मुझे कहते थे कि चिंता से चिता भली है. And when I read this thought of John Gardner, I thought that who taught my father this thing? And where did he get it from? उन्होंने तो कभी अलिफ वाली किताब भी नहीं खोली. Anyway, let me come back to this. And let me begin it again actually. I quote, "The things that we need to learn in maturity are not simple things like acquiring information and knowledge from the books. We need to learn not to burn our energy in anxiety. We need to learn how to manage our tensions. We need to learn that self-pity and diffidence are amongst the most toxic of drugs. We need to learn that the world loves talent but rewards character. We need to learn that most of the people in this world are neither for you nor against you. They are busy in themselves. We need to learn that no matter how hard you try to please, some people in this world are not going to love you. A lesson which is very troubling at the first instance, but once you know it, it is very relaxing. With this, my dear students, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to close my discourse. I should not be saying, calling it discourse. But before I close, let me express my sincere thanks and gratitude to Dr. Pansari and Professor S.P. Singh for having given me this opportunity to talk to my young boys and girls. And I would like to also take this opportunity to wish all these young boys and girls all the very best and great good luck. And I hope that they will transform themselves into good human beings, and they will bring in laurels not only to themselves, but also to their alma mater and to their families and to the humanity at large. So thank you very much, and over to you, Professor S.P. Singh. Bye.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. It was really mesmerizing deliberation, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for emphasizing the importance that how well everyone has to move ahead, the importance of hard work, perseverance, and how we need to uphold the ideals of the Constitution. So you have also spoken about a very pertinent topic which many people do not talk about, and that is stress in our lives and how the power of meditation and physical activity can help us in coping with that. And on a very positive note, you also guided us by talking about how the mantras of success can be utilized at any point of our lives to actually move ahead and kind of like, as you quoted, to play the curve balls like Virat Kohli and the other batsmen that are there. Thank you so much, sir, for taking out time and for accepting our invitation to be a part of our orientation ceremony, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I just want to add on.
Yes,
Professor
sir.
Prakash, I just want to share my thought while you were speaking, and I was thinking I could have been the most luckiest person on my day one in my university if somebody could have given such kind of deliberation. So I would want to say that this kind of platform, this new world, new generation is blessed. They have so much of opportunity to learn from people like you, learn from people like Dr. Pansari and others, and Professor Hasbuddhe. And I think even in this stage, if they are not going to become far, far better and superior than us, then probably there's something wrong. So I was just missing it that on the day one of my university in 1984, I was not being exposed to such kind of orientation. We have been oriented by people around us, but this kind of platform we never got. So these students, my request to all of you, this was a mesmerizing journey so far, last 2.5 hours. There are lots and lots of learning, and you all are very, very fortunate that you are listening to all those stalwarts and the good things which I missed in my life at your age. So over to you, Arpi, and thank you so much, Vedprakash. It was really fantastic, absolutely marvelous.
Thank you so much, sir. I also thank the presence of our Honorable Chancellor, sir, and Vice Chancellor, sir, throughout the session to make it even more interesting and intriguing. Thank you so much for your kind support, and thank you, sir, for your time and your deliberation. I also thank the participants for attending this session with full attention. So we move ahead to the next session, and I would request Madam Banani Das to kindly transition into the next session. Thank you so much once again, sir. Thank you. It was a pleasure to hear you.
So thank you so much. We'll meet soon in Delhi, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks.
Some guidelines for the students. We are over with the inaugural ceremony, the inauguration sessions and the lectures for the orientation program. We will begin with the second session, or we'll begin with the second half of the day today at 1:30. So all students, you have to register using the same link which was shared to you through your email yesterday, and or you have logged in today for the inauguration. The same link, you'll be guided to the next session, which starts at 1:30. The session will be coordinated by Department of English, Royal School of Languages, which will be